The fig tree analogy is pretty popular, and I feel like everybody knows it at this point. But in case you don't know, it was brought up by Sylvia Plath in her book The Belger, and it's basically about how you look at all of these figs, like you're sitting under a fig tree and you're looking at all of these figs and you're trying to choose which one to eat, but it takes you so long to choose which one to eat that they all just mold, basically, and you can't eat any of them. And in this analogy, she talks about how all of these figs in the tree represent a different life that she can have. Like one of them is a lifetime where she's a doctor, the other one is a lifetime where she's a professional tennis player. But because she can't pick, she gets to be none of them. This is a pretty huge dilemma, I would say, especially for people like me who are in their early 20s. Life is starting, you know? You don't have any rules anymore because before this, you have to study, you have to attend school, and it's already set for you. But when you become this age, suddenly you have all of these routes you can take, even though a lot of them are limited based on what you did as a kid. And some people are so blessed. Some people are so blessed that they have one thing ever since they were really young. They have this one job that they want to do. Those people might never understand, but for a lot of us, we have multiple things that we want to do and we end up picking one. And the picking one is usually happening around the age when you finish university or when you don't. It usually happens in your 20s, right? It happens for me too. And this is something that I struggled with ever since I was really, really young. Ever since I was really young, I was interested in so many things. I had so many hobbies. I liked watching everything. I liked doing every sport. Like, I never limited myself and I just enjoyed everything, right? When you do that, it just grows more into the fig analogy because you enjoy all of them. How can you just pick one, right? I never had only one hobby ever in my life. I always had multiple. And I liked all of them nearly at around the same levels as well. So it was really, really hard. And the way I fight this, as I realized, is by stories. It can be a book, it can be a movie, it can be a game. The way I fight it is by living different lives through stories. Because we all have one life at the end of the day, and you can't be all of them. You just can't. You don't have enough time. And usually you don't have enough resources. You don't have enough anything. Like, I can't be a professional gymnast at the age of 21. I just can't. It's already out of the door for me. But how can I still experience that? It's by reading books, it's by watching movies, it's by playing a game. So, this might be not the best way to fight it, because it's technically you're not fighting it, it's just a different approach. But I feel like the way to get out of the fig tree mindset is by not really daydreaming, but through stories, let's say. Let's romanticize it a little bit. Again, it might not be healthy. I am not a psychiatrist or I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. This is just something that I think, because at the end of the day, we have the harsh truth, and that's we have one life. So we have these two things at once. I have one life, but I want to experience so much. How do I do that? By reading books or stories or games or whatever, like I said, just by through others. You don't even need to necessarily read a story, you can even read a wiki page. of a celebrity and still kind of like get the gist of it, even though it's not up to its full potential. I'm just trying to say anything can be a story, like nearly anything. That's why a lot of people love daydreaming. Sometimes it even becomes a problem, because you just can't get out. But I think it starts to become a problem when you can't differentiate the reality. In this scenario, you do realize you're not living that life. It's kind of like it is daydreaming, but it's kind of like when you get to dream that night and you see a whole new world, and then you wake up and you are aware that it was a dream, but you still feel like you lived it, and you do kind of feel content a little bit. At least you feel more content than when you went to sleep. This happens to me a lot because I have dreams every night. Sometimes they don't have any meaning, sometimes they're really fun, and I always know when I wake up that it was a dream, it wasn't real, but still I got to experience it a little bit, and it makes me happy. And I feel the same way about books and stories in general. Even though I know it's not real, even though I will never have that life, just getting a peek makes me content. It makes me feel like I'm living life a lot more. It's almost as if I feel more alive when I see other people's lives. It just fuels me, and I think it fuels a lot of people. So if you ever get into that trap, I feel like it can also be a great motivation for you if you ever get into the trap of just staying there and not knowing what to do. Looking at other people and looking at what they did, even though that other people might not be real, even though it might be just a book, can give you motivation. So, I don't know. This is not the most original idea. Nothing I say is the most original. It never will be. But I just thought of it and I wanted to share. So,